Good morning, guys. Justice taking the day off, so you just get me. You just get me for kind of a slightly different format to the day, but it's hump day. I didn't want to leave you hanging without seeing our lovely faces, or I guess at least mine. So today I figured I would probably try and give a shout out to some of the podcasts and some of the people that have been inspiring me through crazy COVID times. These are not podcasts that I'm sponsored by. I'm not getting any kickback from these guys, but they are things that have been keeping me on kind of my daily routine and trying to stay a little bit more focused and on a straight path during all of this stressful time. So listen, before we get to it, I want to thank all the viewers who have been coming and watching. I want to thank the musicians who have been kind enough to send us the videos. I want to thank AJ from the AVB podcast for letting us put some of those videos that we produced with him on so that some of you are able to enjoy it in the mornings. I really, really do appreciate that. So I am going to see if this is still working for me, and we are going to start off with the first podcast. These guys just started their podcast journey. They are definitely no strangers to performance and to being on stage in front of people. I have a good history and a great friendship with these guys, and I essentially, if you want to get out of the silo of bad news, the echo chamber of a lot of the heavy stuff, if you just need a little bit of a breath, feel like you're drowning, this is your comedic relief. Orbax and Pepper do a podcast. Go check it out. Any of the podcasts I've mentioned today are available on most all of the streams, so you're able to go and pick it up on whatever platform you're listening to your podcasts on. These guys, like I said, are a little bit young in the podcast end of it, so it's been fun to watch or listen to the journey, and it's great to hear some familiar voices, sometimes too close into the microphone. And if you do know Orbax and Sweet Pepper from the Monsters of Schlock and some of their performances over the years and Circus Sideshow, you'll be kind of surprised as the direction that they've taken has changed a little bit. They're doing now Orbax and Pepper Do Science, and they're teaching a lot of kids about science, and there's a lot of videos online. So they're engaging a whole other crowd. This is still a little bit more adult, so don't be letting your kids listen to this. But go and check it out. Enjoy their chatter. These are guys that have more than 24 Guinness World Records between them. Sweet Pepper, the first, I think, Guinness World Record I photographed for them was the most mouse traps set off on a tongue in a minute. I don't even remember the number, but there was a lot of blood. And then second one, or even farther down there, Orbax followed up with one that I remember well, which is him pulling or towing the heaviest vehicle the longest distance with 2 shark hooks put in his back. So in my photography, I get to revisit these moments. My Facebook memories, I get to revisit these moments. And these guys are now getting into the podcast world and reliving moments and some of the friendships and telling stories. It's really funny to see live performers that do live performance realizing that the conversations that they have live here kind of stay there. So they're revisiting even some of the stories they've mentioned on their podcast, which is just, it's enjoyable. Orbax and Pepper do a podcast. They're my comic relief or comedic relief. Check them out. Go give them a like, and please tell them that I sent you. You're not going to get anything, but just tell them I sent you. Another one that I've been following up with is Chase Jarvis Live Show and Creative Live. Chase Jarvis and Creative Live has played quite a role in my life, not only teaching me stuff. Creative Live is an online learning platform where you can stream many different channels kind of for free, and then you can purchase kind of full classes and a back end worth of notes. It's a really great way of learning or picking up things that, during this time, if you want to try a different craft, if you're interested in learning something different with your craft or with your artistry, it's a great place to check out. The Chase Jarvis Live Show is Chase talking with a lot of, world-class guests about business, productivity, positivity, self-betterment. So there's always something great that's going on the show, and it's usually a really good tangent. Steve Aoki was just one of the guests just recently, so it's not that he only talks to creative, he talks to literally everyone from different genres. Chase also put out a book called The Creative Calling last year. Remember the month, but I picked it up in audiobook and also in a, not in printed, but in a book format for the iPad, so I could highlight things that were really important to me. On this podcast, he's also going through and doing a book series that kind of reflects back on that book and some of the processes and some of the kind of homework that you can be doing for your own kind of creative career. So that is the second one. And these last two here, really kind of directed at creatives. They are probably, it's not necessarily going to be something that if you are, if you're not really a creative, if you're a bookkeeper, something like that, this may or may not be, up your alley. But it, for me, has been, these two in tandem have really kind of helped me to think a little bit more clearly about my process and creativity. So number one was a small voice, conversations with photographers, a longer format podcast, and specifically for photographers. So if you're a photog out there and you're looking for something to kind of listen to and give you a little kick in the pants, this is a great one. Conversations with a lot of different types of photographers in a lot of different areas, genres, and honestly, one of the latest ones just touched on Roger Ballard, I believe, and he's the photographer that did some stuff for Diane Word, produced some images and some videos that I can never unsee. They're really unsettling, really powerful, and his hour-long podcast was really interesting, talking about photographers having to get into uncomfortable places to sometimes speak the truth or make comments on the truth. And then the other one is process-driven, which is a little bit wider range. So it's not just photographers. It is about video as well, and really kind of any creative process. This is one that hasn't been updated as regularly as the other ones that I've mentioned, but it's one that if you want to kind of do a deep dive into someone else's creative process and kind of reflect on your own, then it's probably a pretty good choice. So really, I don't know what else we're going to give you today. I figured I'd hop on in this really weird Wednesday and just give you guys a little bit of where I've been coming from and a little bit of the things that have been helping me through some of my longer days or longer weeks, or considering some of the creative process. And that's exactly what's going on today, because I am going to pack my gear up and get my butt ready to go to a photo shoot. This is the first one now in phase 2 that I'm heading out to for the Drive magazine. It'll be interesting, this new weird world. So thanks to you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed some of the inspiration that I've been having, and please, I'll throw this I'll actually put them into the comments, so each of them are their own links for each of these podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. I think Justice is back. I think we have a guest, and it's Thursday. Tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. I didn't mean to mess you up. See you tomorrow.